Hmm. Good morning. My name is John Haas, and I'm pleased to offer this morning meditation. And in building upon the theme for this month, which is open to possibilities. Now, we're just experiencing the full moon in March, and it occurs this afternoon. And as the very first after the vernal equinox, it is the herald for the celebration of Easter this next Sunday. In the traditions of the past, spring represents an opening to that which is new. New life, new life poking up from the ground as paper whites or yellow daffodils, the golden California poppies, and many of the other buds and flowers that we see that are coming forth after the winter slumber. Another possibility has arisen as many in the city have been able to receive vaccinations. And Monday, anyone over the age of 18 can start to get the jab, as they say in England. And so that closed and isolating season of the past seems to be starting to lift, opening life to new possibilities. So join with me now, and if not already done so, find your favorite position to relax. Close your eyes if it's comfortable. Allow yourself to feel the inner self, that part of you that is always reaching out for your highest and best. Allow your entire self to open to life. Open to the spring. Feel the tidal pull of the full moon. Breathe it all in. Let go of anything. Let go of anything that holds you apart from your unique self. And as we prepare to go in and connect with your highest self, consider these words from one of my favorite poets, Jalaluddin Rumi, as translated by Coleman Barks. Come to the orchard in spring. There is light and wine and sweethearts in the pomegranate flowers. If you do not come, these do not matter. If you do come, these do not matter. These words both remind us of the possibilities and help transform our minds. We know that all is well on this spring day as we follow our breath and move into the silence. Today and in the days ahead, notice the warming of the sun as the length of the day increases. Notice the opening of all that is possible. Smile at the world. Your smile invites the world to respond in kind. Feel the certainty of this unfolding globe of good that is moving relentlessly toward that world that works for everyone. Imagine the green buds heralding your transformation. Commit to yourself and your highest path of awakening. Namaste.
Morning. My name is Kira Molitor, and I'm part of the leadership here at CSL Prescott, Arizona. Welcome to everyone, and welcome to spring. Thank you, John, for that beautiful. We have more meditation on offer every Monday on our Facebook page. Today is our board meeting at 12 noon after service. And next Sunday is Easter, April 4th, and we are having a gathering from 2 o'clock to 3:30 at the center. Masks will be required, and we will do social distance. Protect those who have not yet had the vaccine. Watch for our newsletter. There are links to the prayer and meditation groups that Reverend Kathleen is leading on Monday evenings. They're limited to 12 each, so get on board. Enjoy the service.
Good morning. My name is John Haas, and I'm one of the licensed professional practitioners here at the Center for Spiritual Living. And it's my pleasure to open the service with prayer. As practitioners, we like to teach and pray. So join with me now. Just recognize the good, the God that is everywhere present. It's in the sunshine, it's in the budding trees, it's in the flowers that are coming up this spring. Everywhere and every when we notice this good, this God, this Spirit that by any name is here for us, as us, and through us. And since it's right here, right now, it must be with you, with me, as we enter this day, as we accept the bounty of this service. I know that all the music, the words, the people joining in service that bring this to you every Sunday are here by divine appointment, and it's all good. So I'm so grateful that, and I know, and I give thanks for all that comes at this moment. And so I just let these words go, knowing that the Spirit says it's already done. And together we can affirm it by saying, and so it is.
And so it is. I don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is alright. I don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is alright. Rise up this morning, smile with the rising sun. 3 little birds beside my doorstep, singing sweet songs of melodies pure and true. my message to you. I don't worry about a thing. Well, 'cause every little thing, well, it's alright. You know I don't worry about a thing. 'Cause every little thing, well, it's alright. I rise up this morning and smile with the rising sun. The three little birds beside my doorstep, they're singing sweet songs of melodies pure and true. Say, this is my message to you. I don't worry about a thing, because every little thing is alright. I don't worry about a thing, because every little thing, well, it's alright. I don't worry about a thing, because every little thing, well, it's alright. I don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing, well, it's alright.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Reverend Kathleen Sibley. It is my joy to be your minister right now. Please know that whoever you are, wherever you are, and whenever you're watching this, whether for you it is some of the first signs of spring or maybe some of the first signs of fall, you're entirely welcome here, just as you are and just as you are not, because we're all here by divine appointment. The Center for Spiritual Living exists to provide spiritual tools that transform our personal lives and make the world a better place. Now, we can help you learn how to use those tools, but it's up to you to learn them and to decide which ones work best for you. To help you out with that, we have a group of licensed professional practitioners, including Dr. John Haas, who you've already met. And what they do is teach and pray. So if there is a class you'd like to take, or if there is something going on in your life that is worthy of prayer, and anything that takes you away from the holy moment is worthy of prayer, please do check out our website, which is scrolling below me on here on the live stream. You can also contact me or any practitioner through our website and get one-on-one prayer, put in a prayer request. Any of that is possible. Whether you consider yourself a member or not, please do join us for the board meeting after this, which starts at noon, Pacific time anyway. And we will be talking about getting what's it going to take to reopen the center and do it safely and do it well without losing track of all of the wonderful people who join us online from all over the world, all during the week. Now, there's a lot of diversity in this group, including diversity of the faith traditions that we came from. And we like to remember here in our faith tradition that we don't own God and we don't have some trademark on the truth. And so we begin every service in this way. See, the Center for Spiritual Living honors all faith traditions. As we light a candle for the world's religions, it is to acknowledge both our multiplicity and our unity.
We light a candle for Christianity based on the teachings of Jesus the Christ, who taught the path of love, forgiveness, and healing by the presence within.
For Islam, the practice of submitting to the will of God as revealed through his prophets, peace be upon them, who taught that there is one God, creator of the heavens and the earth.
For Judaism, a community of shared laws, traditions, and family ties, which began with the covenant between Abraham and God.
For Buddhism, the middle path that ends suffering and awakens mindfulness and compassion.
For Hinduism, the path of knowledge, action, and devotion.
For the Native American traditions, here in the southwest of the U.S., those who walk the Good Red Road, including the local people of the sun that we know as the Yavapai.
For Baha'i, the path of unity and peace.
For all of the goddess traditions, embracing the divine feminine as maiden, mother, and crone.
And of course, for the science of mind, which is the philosophy of life that teaches there is a power for good in the universe and we can use it.
Thanks, John. And so while honoring all of these faith traditions, we also remember who we are by saying our affirmation together. So please say this from home with me. We are here for God. Our purpose is to express the nature of God as love, abundance, and joy in everything we do. The good we seek for ourselves is what we desire for all people everywhere. And so it is.
God is, I am, right here, right now, right here, right now. God is, I am. God is, I am, right here, right now, right here, right now. God is, I am, God is, I am, right here, right now, right here, right now. God is, I am.
Right here, right now. Join with me for a few moments where we remind ourselves that where we are, God is. So join with me as we go into the silence. And we can take that silence, that God isness, with us as we go about our day, as we go about our week ahead. And just know, right where you are, God is. Namaste.
Thanks so much, John. I love your meditations. And I love that I get to meet new musicians through CSL, and I've met a new one this week, and man, he makes me look good. Coming to us this morning from San Diego, California, absolutely wonderful guitar player, singer, and my new friend, Joe Rathburn, everybody.
Thank you, Jackson. And thanks, Kathleen, for having me back, or having me in your center for the first time. I say back because we knew each other back about 10 years ago when she was here in San Diego. Here's a little song of mine for you. It's called Together. Here to tell you that when the road is filled with trouble, up the hills our pace will double. If we walk that road together, no great weight can be a burden. We can bear it, that's for certain. If we share the load together. There's no challenge that we can't meet, whatever comes our way. Let 'em send an army and we'll defeat it. There's no retreat. Love can beat it, yeah. So cross that ocean and climb that mountain and drink our share of life's full fountain. Let's do it all together. There's no challenge that we can't meet, whatever comes our way. So let 'em send an army and we'll defeat it. There's no retreat. Love can beat it, yeah. So we're gonna cross that ocean, climb that mountain and drink our share of life's full fountain. And ooh, gonna do it all together. Or we'll take a fall together. We've got to share the joys and the tears, banish all our fears together. Thank you.
Oh, Joe, it's good to see you again. I can't even tell you how awesome it is. I feel like I am 10 years younger because the last time I got to listen to your music, well, not online, was, wow, I used to just blast a song called Little Sons as I was driving up to ministerial school. And it's one of my favorite memories. And I used to think that was my favorite song by you, but I think maybe I have a new one. So if you enjoyed that, please do go to Joe's website, which was scrolling earlier. He does another song towards the end of this, and you can grab his website if you missed it then. And it is so apropos that we should talk about doing this stuff together, because as Reverend Dr. Michelle Madrano would tell you, no one can do this for you, but no one has to do it alone. All month long, we've been talking about the idea of visioning and the spiritual practice that we call visioning, in which we do an active type of listening, as if the most best friend we've ever had is about to whisper the secrets of the universe in our ear. And we can accept that vision for our life, and we can choose to become the type of person that could live that vision. And we do that by recognizing the magnificence of our own souls, and to let go of the old stories that we used to tell each other and ourselves about, oh, I'm too old, I'm too fat, I'm too young, I'm too this, I'm too that, I'm too anything. So we get to do this work together. We get to come into our greatness together. And one of the great joys of my work is that I actually am expected to go do outreach. And so the last couple of years, I have gotten to know some of the people over at the Coalition for Compassion and Justice. And what they do is prevent and end homelessness in our area here, what we call the Quad City area in northern Arizona. I've made some great friends there, and they have some great stories. And having had the opportunity to hear from some of them and to learn who they are as people, I wanted you to get to meet them, because last week we hosted CCJ, or the Coalition for Compassion and Justice's shelter program, for a week while they are in the midst of a remodel. And we kept 57 people off the streets during that 1 week. And that was just, it was a joy. It was so wonderful to have different practitioners and other people show up to support, to show up with dessert, because we like to feed people, to see the place treated with such respect and love. And so, seeing as how I've had the joy of experiencing these people, I want you to meet my friend Chris Chamberlain. So he's going to tell a little of his story, and then I'm going to come back on and translate it into science of mind ease. And I know you're going to learn as much from him as I have. So, big tech change.
Hello, my name is Chris Chamberlain, and thank you, Kathleen, for that nice introduction there. She asked me a little while ago to talk on commitment to transformation. Well, I want to change that up a little bit and talk about the spiritual transformation, something that happened to me in my life and throughout my life, actually. And to my knowledge, I think there's like 7 steps of transformation, spiritual transformation. I'd like to go over a couple of those. I'll list them, but then I'm going to talk about maybe 3 since I have a limited amount of time. Number 1 is conformity. And number 2 is crisis. Number 3 is courage. Number 4 is curiosity. Number 5 is enthusiasm. Number 6 is wisdom. And number 7 is surrender. And I want to touch just a little bit on crisis, courage, and surrender. But before I get into that, I'd like to tell you of a true story that happened to me when I was about 8 years old. I was living in Tucson at the time, and me and my brother, my older brother Sonny, we were on our way to a convenience store, which was just down the street from us. But to get to this convenience store, there was a construction zone that was there in the process. Now we had previously had a couple days of really good monsoon rains, which is a lot of rain here in Arizona in a period of the summertime around July. And where there used to be a big trenched out ditch or whatever was filled with mud. We were standing on top of this little dike, and we were throwing rocks and boulders in there and watching them sink in the mud. I went to throw a big boulder in, and I slipped, and I fell right in the middle of that and started sinking. At first, I was only up to my thighs, but the more I struggled, the deeper I started to sink. And in the meantime, my brother's got my arm. He's trying to pull me out, and he's on the side of the bank about knee deep in mud, but I was sinking further and further and further until it was up to my shoulders. At that point, I gave up. When it was that high on me, I struggled for such a long time, and I just gave up. And I looked up in the sky, and I told God, "Here I am, taking it." You know, I thought I was going to die. And I looked at my brother and I said, "You know what? Just leave me. Just leave me. I'm done. I've had enough." And just looked at me and he goes, "No." And he grabbed a hold of my arm, and one quick jerking motion pulled me literally right out of that sinking mud that it was almost up to my neck at that time. Now, that is a true story that really happened to me when I was at that age. All right, now I want to touch a little bit on crisis now. Personal stuff that happened to me. When my children got older and left and stuff, you know, I was kind of alone by myself because me and my wife had divorced and stuff. I was really close to my mother my whole life, and she'd been struggling fighting cancer for 10 years. And I got a call on the phone. I was living in a different state at the time, and it was from my brother who said that she's not doing well, and I went over there to see her. And within that week that I was there, she passed away. She died when I was holding her hand. It affected me greatly. I used to live in Payson, and I started drinking a lot because I didn't know how to face the loss, and I lost everything because of alcoholism, and lost my vehicle, lost my house, lost my self-dignity, lost my respect of my friends and family. Soon after that, I moved to the Prescott area to live with one of my sons. And the alcoholism still continued and continued. And one day I had a blackout drunk that I don't even remember. Don't even remember what happened. But evidently I'd assaulted my son and found myself at the front door of the CCJ shelter. I was just dropped off there. I also had a broken foot at the time, so I was on crutches. I had nowhere to go. I had no idea what to do with my life. I was at the end. I was giving up again. I was done. The shelter took me in, gave me a mat to sleep on. I was there for 30 days on this mat that was with a broken foot. And I remember the mat number was number 9. 30 days, same spot, never left. But they took me in. I started teaching AA classes in there. I quit drinking, and then it was like an epiphany that came over me. And once again, I just gave myself to God and said, "Here I am. Do what you will with me." And it seemed like he had grabbed a hold of my arm like my brother did and jerked me out of this quagmire of alcoholism and addiction. And it was gone. It left overnight. People all of a sudden looked at me different. I had a friend come up to me that I was helping with his alcoholism problems. And he looked at me one day and he goes, "What'd you do, Chris?" And I said, "Well, what do you mean?" And he goes, "You gave it all to him, didn't you?" And I go, "Yes, I did. I gave my life, all my problems over to God." And that was my transformation right there. From that point on in my life, I was had no more addiction, no more alcohol use, quit smoking cigarettes, nothing. Excuse me 1 second. Everyone around me noticed a great change. By letting go of things that held me back, like guilt, I took it upon myself that my mother's death was a lot due to it was my fault, when it wasn't. I just felt like it was. The negativity, the shame, the fear, the doubt, the self-doubt, the insecurities, all these are handed over to my higher power, God. And he took them away. They were gone. So from that point on, I started to find an inner peace in myself, as well as profound spiritual experiences that was going on in my life. Things were coming to me. Things were happening to me that I did not expect. It's a great experience. To this day, now in my life, I run the PWPA program, was the Prescott Progressive Workers Agency, which I take mostly homeless or people living in halfway houses, and provide them work ethics and job skills via different construction jobs or landscaping jobs and stuff that we do for CCJ. I'm also on the board of directors for CCJ. I was asked to be on the board when I was actually still staying at the shelter. I was in that shelter for 9 months. I work part-time as a behavioral health technician. I'm also on the CCJ Second Chance Housing Committee, and also on the CCJ Financial Committee. Today, my life is the best it's been ever. And it's mostly due because of my belief in God and the help of the Coalition for Compassion and Justice, my friends who had actually helped me get through difficult parts of my life. It was like being stuck in that mud, and with all these people and my higher power together, they pulled me out of this quagmire of guilt, addiction, and alcoholism, where I could once again search for that enlightenment, which is actually the 8th step of spirituality. And that's something that I'm going to have to work on the rest of my life, to be faith, to get to that enlightened point of my life. And I'm looking forward to it. And I want to thank the Center for Spiritual Living for what they did for the clients for CCJ, the homeless, for taking them for that whole week. That's very much appreciated. And I want to thank them for letting me bear this slight bit of testimony that I have about my spirituality and my journey that I've had so far. Thank you very much. And here's Kathleen.
So, these are the great people I get to hang out with as a part of, this is my job, this is what I do. Thank you, Chris, for sharing all of that.
You're welcome.
I want to just point something out. Chris came to a couple different crisis points in his story. One was his life was in danger and his brother pulled him literally up out of a ditch. And in the other one, it was a normal thing that happens to all of us. At some point, the people we love who live in physical bodies are going to leave those physical bodies. And how we deal with it and our different options are all, we have so many different choices. And the healing that Chris needed happened in relationship. And so I just want to remind you that there's human relationships and there's spiritual relationships, and we get to commit to the transformational healing that happens one way or another. I'll just remind you that there is no way you're going to avoid this transformation. According to our teachings and according to what most of the mystics all taught, we are all on a path of self-discovery. We are all learning who we are and digging deeper and deeper into our own hearts and minds in order to find the magnificent soul that actually lives in every single body, no matter what we look like on the outside, no matter what our stories are, no matter what we've experienced in our lifetimes. We all get to, once we commit to listening to that still small voice, to listening to the higher power and allowing that power to pour through us, we are all lifted up. Now, you can put it off as long as you want, but at some point, you're going to have to admit that thou art that you too are the son or daughter of the infinite spirit, that you too are the adult child of God with a magnificent soul, and that Spirit takes great pleasure in its creation, having made you exactly as you are. And so in this teaching, the reason we vision, the reason we pray, the reason we come together to learn from each other, and as Reverend Dr. Kathy Hearn used to say, grow up all over each other, and sometimes that can be messy. The reason we come together is in order to discover this magnificent soul that lives in each and every person. So in this moment, I invite you to just remember who you are and whose you are. Because the truth is, there is nothing you can do to stop being one with the divine. There's, if God is infinite, and all faiths teach that this is an infinite being, quantum physics and, even basic physics teaches that all things are actually joined together, that there is only one thing, one vast web of energy that we call the physical world. And so even if I just put my fingers together, at some level, the molecules are intermingling. I get to retain my wholeness and my sense of individualism, and I am also one with the greater whole. No matter what I'm doing, no matter where I've been, no matter what I've done. So if you're sitting there saying, oh, but Reverend Kathleen, I am the exception. I have terminal uniqueness. I am the one and only time that God's messed up and made a broken person. You don't understand. My mother could tell you. You don't understand. Everybody always told me. I do understand. They were wrong. They got bad data. You are an infinite being. You are a magnificent soul. And when you are ready to admit it, this is one of the ways, this teaching is one of the ways that offers different spiritual tools to help you start seeing yourself more clearly. This is what we do. This is why we do it. Because people like Chris, when he was still hobbling around on his broken foot and drunk as a skunk or whatever, was still an infinite being with the power of the divine within him. It just took a little time for him to figure that out. Now, nobody could have done it for him. He could have chosen to go out and go drink it again. He could have chosen to stay in the ditch and jerked away from his brother and drown in that ditch. That was his choice, and you get to make the same choice over and over again. I can't do it for you. The practitioners can't do it for you. We will walk this path with you, but we can't do it for you. And so in the visioning that I'm teaching on, those prayer and meditation groups that have been talked about on Monday nights and on Saturday mornings, I'm going to teach a deep form of prayer and meditation called visioning. And we're going to go deep into it. And if you really want to transform and get that deep sense of surrender that that is not about losing, but about gaining a greater experience of yourself and your life, that is where we go. Now, the other tool that we use in the Center for Spiritual Living is sharing our individual truths. Not everybody is going to have the same opinion about everything. Believe it or not, there are some people who disagree when I talk. There are some people who look at me and say, Reverend Kathleen's gone nuts again. And that's okay with me. The last thing I want is a center full of people who are just sheep and go along with everything I say. Well, okay, there are days that would not be a bad thing. But in truth, in order to really practice this, what you're surrendering to is your higher power, your understanding of God. And you bring your individualized expression of the divine to the center, whether it's physically or online. And you bring all that you are and all that you want to be and all of that secret stuff in the back of your heart that you think we won't love you because of. You bring all of that. And we commit to the transformation individually and collectively. And that is how we create what we call our vision. We commit individually and collectively to what we call the world that works for everyone. And then we allow Spirit, the God of our own understanding, to show us step by step what's ours to do. And whether that's showing up at the board meeting or showing up in a class or watching this at 3 a.m. because you can't sleep and it's better than drinking or drugging or going out and beating yourself up somehow, whatever it takes, whatever is yours to do, your heart already knows. And so I ask you to join us now. If you are interested in becoming a member, if you're interested in turning your life around, this is the time. This is the place. Church hop for as long as you need to. God knows that all of us are online now. It's become very easy. You don't even need to leave your sofa. It might be a good idea to leave your sofa at some point, but whatever you need to do in order to find your connection and your path, I invite you to join us here at the Center for Spiritual Living Prescott. We absolutely are here for God, God as you. We ask you to join us in creating this world that works for everyone. Join us in creating an online campus where everyone around the world can be served. I recently read that there are less than 400 centers around the world. Centers for Spiritual Living is relatively small. So assume that, the average is actually about 95, call it 100 because the math is easier, 100 people on a Sunday. Times 400 is 400,000? Yeah, that's it. It's either 40,000 or 400,000. I misplaced zeros. They're so hard to grab because there's nothing there. Anyway, let's be generous. Let's say there's 50,000 or 500,000 people who actually have access to this physically where they live. What about the other 8 billion people on the planet? We need you too. And so I invite you now to become part of the Center for Spiritual Living here in Prescott, whether you're in Northern Arizona or not. Come home to yourself. Come home to the highest power that is within you. Come home to the best BFF you could ever have, you, your divine self. Come home and learn how to do visioning so that you can see what your path is. The other big tool we use is prayer, and you've heard that several times, and now I'm going to go into prayer. When I say prayer, I absolutely know that the divine being is speaking me as it's hearing through you. And so as I go to prayer right now, I ask you to join me in whatever way works for you. If you want to close your eyes, great. If you need to get up and dance, awesome. You do you. But I close my eyes so that I can focus on the truth within. And I remember that God is all there is. God by whatever name you want to use. Him, her, it, us, them. God is, and God is all there is. And that infinite spirit, that infinite life, that sense of love and power and peace that permeates the universe, that makes the electrons hop between atoms, all of that is what we call God, for want of a better word. And it is as all of us right here and now. The divine being is living in this world, living in its own creation as each and every one of us. And so in this moment, each and every one of us is already committed to spiritual truth, our deepest wisdom, our deepest enlightenment, as Chris said, is already ours. We are already Christs and Buddhas. We are already that with a capital T, the great thou. And so as we come into that truth, all of the muck and all of the dis-ease and all of the misunderstandings about ourselves that we were ever handed now falls away because we stand in the light of our truth. And shadows don't argue with truth. They simply disappear and cease to be and walk their path. And so in this moment, I give thanks for the truth of who we are. I give thanks for the truth of where we are and where we deserve to be in this moment. And I bless it all and call it good. And so it is.
Well, we let the love wash over us. We let it be. We let the world wash over us. We let it be. Where we let the grace wash over us. We let it be. We let the love wash over us. We let it be. Let the joy wash over us. We let it be. We let the grace wash over us. We let it be.
Over us. We let it wash over us and give to us everything we need. And part of our teaching is that as we give, so do we receive. So we allow this law of circulation to be at work by supporting the Center for Spiritual Living Prescott with our tithes and offerings. I know it's been a rough year. I know a lot of people are challenged. And I also know that Spirit provides. And so if this is serving you, if this helps you out, I ask you to make sure that we still continue to exist, to be able to serve by sharing what you can. There's a telephone number you can text your tithe to. You can also go to the website. And I ask you to do it with consciousness. So whatever your gift might normally be, I ask you to hold it over your heart right now. I happen to have auto tithe, so I look like I'm holding empty hands over my heart. But we do the dedication of the offering in complete consciousness that what we're giving, we also receive. There we go. And so I ask you to bless your own gifts by saying, divine love in and through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, life. And thank you, Joe, for coming back to play some more.
You're very welcome. And I love your cat. So I'm going to do this song for you, Kathleen, since we've reestablished our connection after 10 years. And you said that this was your favorite song. So here's a song called Little Sons. Well, I know this waitress. She works in a small cafe. She serves you with a smile. She gives all her tips away to the needy homeless souls who drop in late at night. She can't afford it, but it helps them see the light. We can all be little suns, shedding light everywhere we go, warming up our atmosphere and causing that love to grow. Or we could keep to our own space and let the world be a colder place. Or we can all be little suns. And I know this fella, he sings high and sweet. He plays real good guitar. He plays it with his feet. He may not have arms, but he's got the light within. And when he sings and plays, he shines it out again. And we can all be little suns, shedding light everywhere we go, warming up our atmosphere, causing that love to grow. Or we could keep to our own space and let the world be a colder place. Or we could all be little suns. Mother Teresa, she'd have given you her own shirt. That little old lady, man, she tackled some great big hurt. A supernova is what she's come to be. But she can still use some help from sons like you and me. And we can all be little suns, shedding light everywhere we go, warming up our atmosphere and causing that love to grow. Or we could keep to our own space and let the world be a colder place. Or we can all be little suns. Hey, we've all known trouble. Everybody has felt the loss. Everyone has stood the strain of carrying round their cross. Now with all that common ground, why can't we plant the seed and reap the harvest that we all so badly need? We can all be little suns, shedding light everywhere we go, warming up our atmosphere and causing that love to grow. Or we could keep to our own space and let the world be a colder place. Or we could all be little suns. Yeah, we can all be little suns, shedding light everywhere we go, warming up our atmosphere and causing that love to grow. Or we could keep to our own space and let the world be a colder place. Or we can all be little suns. Oh yeah, we can all be little suns. That's right, hallelujah. We can all be little suns.
Oh, Cruise Control was made for songs like that. I love it. Thank you so much, Joe. It was fun to hang out with you again. Ladies and gentlemen, so this is the part of our service where we do our benediction and sing our way out with the peace song. Please do join us. Just let me know if you need the link, or any board member actually has it by now. And at least come in and hear what's going on and have your voice heard. We'll try and figure out, we are remembering how to do this from both an online group and from the physical world. And all of this is coming together beautifully. So let's do our benediction. We can sing our way out before our service, our board meeting at noon. So stand up if you need to. Don't say this like it's a monotone. This is absolutely an affirmation. You are telling the universe what's up. Something wonderful is happening through me right now. It's happening through my mind, my body, and my affairs. I think it, I believe it, I feel it, I know it, I accept it. Thank
Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me. Yes, there is peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, we're a family. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Yes, peace begins with me, and this is the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment with peace eternally. Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me.